need you to accept it. Cool. So hi again, ladies. Again, still on day 4 of this incredible workshop. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. For all of you that continue to show up for yourself, well done. And you already saw CK earlier on and what she's created. And I want you to meet Kristine today. Kristine is actually in the beautiful Sarasota. And if you have never been there, I can vouch for it and tell you it is paradise, like absolute paradise. My best friend lives there and it is just stunning. And Kristine has very kindly joined us today. So it's afternoon there and it's nighttime here in Ireland. So we're in completely different time zones. But I really want you to hear Kristine's story. So CK's story was one particular story. Kristine's is very different. So I want to be able to show you what's possible for you. You just have to learn to choose you and decide that you matter. So I'm going to let Kristine introduce herself and you're going to love her. She's so amazing. Kristine, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yes, and I love you too. And I'm so grateful to be here and for everything you've helped me with. And yes, my name is Kristine Kassart and I live in Sarasota, Florida, but I grew up in Sweden. So that's where the accent is coming from. And wow, I was just looking back today from where I was when I started with Joanne, and it all happened so seamlessly too. Like in the moment, I couldn't even see the changes I was doing, but the fact that I'm even on here, like live talking, my voice is kind of actually working on Facebook, that just says it all. You know, I was like my own biggest obstacle. Like I have all these goals and dreams to help people go vegan. That's like my passion, and also sobriety, but I couldn't find my voice. So how could I share my message if I just couldn't get myself out there?
Yeah, you had a real burning desire, didn't you, to be able to share it with the world because you're so passionate about it. And it's so incredible to see like you putting yourself out there then, because I think it's important to share with the ladies too, is that like when you first came to me, you were out there, but what your problem was is that you were being inconsistent with it and that you weren't showing up for yourself a lot. Is that fair to say?
For sure. And I didn't really have a plan. I was just more just a little bit here and a little bit there. And I've been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years and I love that. I really love that. And then like my kids had the nerve of all starting school and all of a sudden it was just me. So I didn't have an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually had time. I had time to, well, I didn't really have, well, the way I had set up my schedule, it didn't look like I had time. But it really helped me see that if I just like carved out some space for myself, I had, yeah, there's just nothing stopping me. I just needed to see that what I was doing added value. And I had so much self-doubt because I don't have, I'm not like a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, I don't have any like fancy diplomas. I'm an accountant, you know. I do have a bachelor's in accounting, but that's not what I'm passionate about. That's not what I want to talk about. But so I didn't feel like I had the right to kind of share my knowledge because I didn't have that diploma.
And I think there's probably so many people that can relate to that. You know, it's like, well, what do I know? It's the imposter syndrome that kicks in, right? And you feel like you're a fraud. But actually, our stories and where we come from and our experiences are what create the value, and they're what relate to people. And yeah, it's incredible how we hold each other back. Can you give the ladies a flavor of what you have currently created and where you're at?
Well, I have a blog. It's called Mom Vegan Love, and I'm also on Instagram, same there, Mom Vegan Love. And I started doing cooking videos with people in my communities. I have them come to my kitchen and we cook up a vegan meal. Or a couple of weeks ago, I went to a vegan restaurant here in town, and we made some mocktails together, which was really fun. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was on a podcast, which I couldn't believe I did that. And just told people about my journey to sobriety, and just letting go of all that shame around that, and just stepping into the power of being sober. I've been sober for I think I've lost track now. It's so 7 years, I think, going on 8.
Congratulations.
And just going out and doing that, I just like the response, like I'm such a people pleaser and a perfectionist. So I would just hinder myself from doing anything because I wanted it to be perfect. So I can sit like with a reel before for a whole day and I couldn't post it. And then I would post it and then see that, oh my goodness, I spelled this one word wrong. And then I wanted to take it down. And just like, if it wasn't perfect, it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was good enough, you know? But I'm just getting past that part of myself. Like, it's not like, who even relates to somebody who's perfect, you know? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Chris, you're actually being very modest, I have to say, right? So I will share a little bit of Kristine's story because she is still being a little bit modest. So Kristine is now the queen of reels, right? This lady, when she makes a decision about something, and this is something I want you guys to hear, when Kristine makes a decision, she's in, like she's all in. It doesn't matter what it looks like, messy, whatever, she is all in and goes out of her way to create it, which is what has helped her be able to create that consistency, be able to put yourself out there and to be able to take those next steps, is to be like a dog with a bone and just go all in. But I think for you, and I know that there's ladies in this workshop that will relate to this, so I want you to hear this. Kristine was great at being busy, but one of the challenges for you is to get you to stop and actually stop. So that while we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? You get to choose what you do within that time. And because you were such a workaholic, getting you to stop was the biggest challenge. She fought me. Like, she fought me. We had one entire session where all she did was fight me on this and then went out of her way to seek ways to validate that she was right instead of stopping. And the whole point was to create more time for you. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember.
But will you share a little bit about that, like in terms of like how much time are you actually spending on your business and what balance do you have with your family life?
Yeah, that I have now I'm kind of transitioning into this new project, and I'm also evolving into I'm creating a 21-day summit. So but I'm still,
yeah, you are.
I had to talk to 21 people. I don't know. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating just thinking about it.
But you're doing it. You're doing it
anyway. But yeah, I'm an all or nothing person. That's why I made such a good alcoholic. I just like, I throw myself in there and I do it all or nothing. So I'm also like, I don't know if you can relate, anyone can relate to this, but I'm very like, with Instagram, I get very addicted to that and I need to figure out how to do it. So all of a sudden it's 1 a.m. and I'm still on there trying to figure it out. And then I really want it to be perfect, coming back to that. And what I've done is just like created more, because then nothing else matters. Like I have 3 kids and I can't even see them because I had to figure this out. I had to solve this problem.
Yeah.
But what I like yesterday, for example, is one Wednesdays is my evenings when this family time. So I just put my phone away and I'm like, I'm here. Let's cook dinner and just being happy. Because basically, I tried to explain it to my daughter the other day. You go to history lessons every day, math lessons every day. You don't go in there expecting to know all of algebra in one day. I go in learning about reals and I'm like, today I need to know it all. But it's not like a one day done. It's like, today I learned this piece and that piece. That's awesome. Tomorrow you get to learn something new. That's really exciting. That's a really just like new way for me, you know?
You're calmer because you're focused. The overwhelm doesn't exist anymore because you're not trying to do it all, because that's where perfection is an unattainable game, right? We just, it's impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah, and even if I would stay up until 1 a.m, then I would be angry with myself that I stayed up that late. I would feel bad that I had neglected my children and I still didn't learn it all. So it's like
yeah, you go into self-sabotage, and that's you know, that's something that's beautiful about this is a lot of people go into this journey about business, but actually it changes your entire life, because how you show up in one way, in one part of your life, you show up in all parts of your life. So when you're making those transitions and you're working through it, it's affecting all of your life. And what I want you to know is where Kristine fought me, lots of people fight me on different things, because you're in resistance. It's your breakthrough that you get to have. But it's what that looks like for you is going to look very different for everybody else, which is why I want to share these stories with you so that you can go, I'm not alone. There is somebody else like me, and that we do have these barriers that we need to work through. And it doesn't matter what our background looks like, or what our current situation looks like, or what our job is, or what we're trying to create. We have barriers and we have blocks, and we will get in our own way very easily, because we're good at that, right? We're really good at it. Like, we should all have won awards for actresses, because we're just so amazing at it, right? We're just so determined. But it can be different. It's just whether or not you choose you. So Kristine, I do want to ask you, for anybody that's unsure whether or not going through this coaching program is for them, what would you say?
Oh, just go for it. Say yes. Say yes to you. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Just, I probably could have done it by myself, but it would have taken so much longer. And it's just, why wait? Why not be happy today? You know, that the fact that I remember the first conversation I had with you, and I was talking about money and how it flows to me easily and freely. And I really believe that. But then you're like, well, how come you're not making any money on your blog? I'm like, well, that's, you know, why would people pay for me, you know? But it's having all these blockages. And one of the big things that we worked on was forgiveness.
Yeah.
And that really helped me work through some childhood trauma that has been holding me back my whole life. And I was fighting that too. I didn't even want to sit down long enough to start writing. But when I did, thanks to you, because you look so nice and sweet, but you, I'm like, I know where you live. I'm like, I know. So you just, you need somebody to push you when it gets uncomfortable, because it's so easy to just be like, no. And then life keeps going, and it does, but you know, help. We don't have to do this alone.
No, lone wolf, and it doesn't work. It didn't work for you, didn't work for me, didn't work for CK, hasn't worked for any of the other ladies that you're going to see. We can, like Kristine said, we can try and do it on our own, but what's the point? What's the point in suffering on your own and suffering in silence, and letting those thoughts take control of you, and letting other people's opinions take control of you, and letting a false reality take control of you? Like, we never want our excuses to be bigger than the vision that we're creating. And you're all creating such incredible things, and they are impacting people. So you get to make sure that you take a stand for that, so that you can impact as many people as you want. You get to choose you, because choosing you actually positively impacts other people.
Yes. You're here. Mic drop.
So, my lovely, before we go, is there anything else that you want to share with the ladies, or that you think they need to know?
Just go for it. Go for it. And I just want to say thank you to you, because you changed my life, and I'm so grateful. I really am.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for you. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you. Like, we are going to be in each other's lives forever, for sure. Like,
that makes me happy. Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I know where you live.
Yay, come on
That's
over.
a private joke, by the way, people. That's a private joke between myself and Kristine. So I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate you. And ladies, look, I've put the book a call in there. Like I said already, there's 3 slots gone already. I only have a limited amount, because this is actually when I have my flex week. So I've opened up my calendar for you guys. So don't lose out on this. I will be closing the doors to my program in the middle of March, and then that's it. That's gone. So you've got 2 weeks. So like that's it. They're done then. Because I can't keep the sales calls going. So book your call, get yourself in there, choose you, and let's just see what's possible for you. You don't know until you ask, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Love you.